guys, gals, welcome to That Other Gun channel by Range Tech US. And we're here today to talk about something that is not talked about enough, and that is your footwear. What are you gonna do if your footwear is trash? You can have all the Gucci kit in the world. You can have that, blinged out AR. You can have that really sweet hunting survival knife, but if you can't walk because your feet are destroyed or they're soaking wet and you have trench foot and yada yada yada, you're in trouble. So this has been, and especially coming from a mountaineering and climbing background, this has been something that's been super important to me since I was 13 years old. And I, scrimped and saved when I was starting when I was 13 years old, to be able to purchase climbing shoes and hiking shoes from one company, pretty much one company only, and that is Scarpa. Now, I'm not going to say that I like all of Scarpa's shoes, because I'm not a big fan of their runners. Their trail runners are kind of weird, and their cheaper approach shoes, the ones that are made in Asia in that big company or big country called China, yeah, not so happy about Scarpa going to that. I think that was a bad decision. But when it comes to their higher end hiking and mountaineering and ice climbing boots and stuff like that, even companies like Kuui or whatever it's called, they recommend this boot that I'm about to talk about. So I broke down and I bought a pair of these, even though I've got a pair of lighter weight hiking boots from Scarpa. And I did so because I wanted something that would allow me to carry my heavy packs, my sniper loadouts through the forest, through the backcountry, that kind of thing. No matter what I'm doing, whether it's training other snipers or training hunters, I wanted something with more support, more protection, and something that I was not feeling every little pebble and stuff like that through. So what I did, I went to the Grand Dru boots right here. These are what is called a general purpose mountaineering boot. These are extremely light. They're less than a couple of pounds for each of these boots. You pick them up and I promise you, you'll be like, whoa, okay, that is surprising. This is something that, your tactical companies, 511 or whatever, cannot do. They do not have the expertise in creating something like this for you. You need to go to a company that is die-hard, just well established, and generally speaking makes their boots in somewhere like Italy to get good boots that are going to be robust. They're going to last many years. You probably get a decade out of these if you're using them on a constant basis, and you can get them resold quite easily and quite inexpensively. So these boots retail, right, for about 550 bucks. And before you say, oh my gosh, I'm not spending that much on boots, you should. You probably spent more than that on your last pistol. You probably spent twice that on your last rifle, and maybe I'm wrong. And you know what? If you're buying cheap stuff, that's fine, but expect that it's not going to last as long, and then ultimately in the end, you're going to be spending the same or more, probably more, than somebody who is picking up a high quality product in the first place. As the saying goes, buy once, cry once. So anyway, I've had these on now. I've walked around a bit with them, but I haven't fully started breaking these in. And I can tell you they're super comfortable. The one thing I did add to them was some arch support insoles. I find that there's not a company out there that makes shoes, boots, or whatever that doesn't actually just use basically what is termed a fitting insole. And this is basically just a flat piece of foam that goes in there. Those are not actually meant to be used in the long term. What the intention is for that to actually just go in the trash or be used for fitting. And then something like this, which unfortunately is covered in dog fur, pup fur, something like this that actually has a plastic support in it that's gonna keep your heel fat pad, that cushioning pad under your heel, contained It's going to provide that support for your arch, and it's going to make your foot a lot more comfortable, because what it's actually doing is preventing the tendon that runs from the heel of your foot to the bottom of your toes from being stretched out. It's preventing your arch from collapsing, and it's preventing that fat pad from collapsing and being flattened out, so that you have no cushion there. And that'll add a lot of comfort, just adding something like this to boots. You can get something like this for 20 bucks off Amazon, you know, so it's not bad at all. It's not more than like 3 cups of coffee or something like that these days at one of those boutique coffee stands out there. So if you're really serious about your training, you're really serious about your hunting, you're really serious about, you know, having something to be prepared, you know, if things fall apart, because trust me, I think you're probably going to end up walking around a lot if everything's shut down, you know, when it comes to supply chains, you know, because there could be no fuel, for instance. So I really think that it's justifiable to spend the money on a set of boots like these. The other advantage, feature-wise, which I really haven't got into yet, is the fact that it's a full rand rubber protected boot. So if you're kicking rocks or you're lying prone, you're not chewing through the leather on the front of the boots. And you know, it's just another reason to go to something like this that is featured. One of the other little tiny features that I like is this lace lock right here, and it's kind of, I'll flip it to the side with my finger. If I pull the lace, that'll actually lock my tension separate on the bottom of the boot versus on the ankle of the boot. And if you're like me, I use 2 different tensions up, you know, between base and between the ankle section of the boot, depending on how my feet are feeling. So if my feet are, you know, starting to get beat up over long hikes, multi-mile hikes, that kind of thing, I can release this section, but then also protect my ankles at the same time, giving my feet that room to expand over time from heat and so on, like your feet do if you're hiking far enough. What else? They also come with attachments, so pulling them on, or attachment points on the back here. They're both for carrying, but they're also for pulling the boots on, because these are a more fitted type of boot than you're typically going to get if you're buying these, say, from your hunting or typical outdoor store. Those boots are made on a different kind of last, and they do not have that customized sort of feel and fit to them that something like this does. Anyway, that's 8 minutes. They're boots. Go buy them. They're really nice, and you will thank me in the long run.